Mama Ngozi, this jollof rice is too sweet.
You did well.
Serious? Pass me that goat meat. Let me take small.
The night I spoke in that room, the night I asked 3 questions in front of 30 members of a family that had spent 3 years deciding I was not good enough, my mother-in-law looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. And in a way, she was. Because for 3 years, she had looked at me and seen a market girl, the daughter of a fabric trader from Nnewi, a woman without connections, without the right surname, without the right background to sit at the Okonkwo family table. For 3 years, she had smiled at me with a smile that welcomed me and dismissed me at the same time. And I had sat in that family quietly, patiently, without defending myself, without explaining myself, without once telling any of them who I actually was. People thought that was a weakness. It was not a weakness. It was the most strategic decision I ever made. Because I had learned something from a woman who sold fabric in Nnewi market for 20 years. A woman most people would also have underestimated. And what she taught me was this: you never have to prove your worth to people who have already decided to misread you. You simply build, quietly, consistently, until the day reality corrects their mistake for you. That day came on a December evening in Onitsha. And by the time it was over, nothing in that family was ever the same again. My name is Adaize, and this is my story. I want to take you to that December evening first, before I tell you how I got there. Before I explain 3 years of family dinners and polished smiles and comments I was supposed to absorb without reacting. I want you to see the moment first. Because once you see it, everything that came before it will make complete sense. It was Christmas week, Chief Okonkwo's 70th birthday, the biggest family gathering the Okonkwos had organized in years. 30 family members in the main sitting room of the Onitsha compound, extended relatives from across the southeast, business associates, community leaders, the full visible expression of everything the Okonkwo name meant in their world. I sat in my usual position at these gatherings, slightly outside the center, present but adjacent, the wife who was tolerated rather than embraced, the market girl they had all made their peace with because removing me was no longer an option. After dinner, Dubem, my husband's eldest brother, the one who managed the family construction company, stood up. His face told the story before his words did. He announced that the business was in serious trouble. A major contract had collapsed. A bank loan was overdue. Unless something changed quickly, the company Chief Okonkwo had to spend 30 years building was at serious risk. The room went completely silent. Chief Okonkwo, this man who had built everything, who had given this family everything they had, sat in his chair, and for the first time in 3 years of knowing him, he looked old and afraid. Mama Okonkwo went very still. Auntie Ngozi, the one who called me the market girl, had nothing to say for once in her life. And I looked at the numbers Dubem had written on a piece of paper and passed around the room. I looked at my husband Emeka beside me. He gave me the smallest nod I have ever seen. And I cleared my throat. May I say something? The way Mama Okonkwo looked at me in that moment, the polite surprise of a woman who had never fully expected me to contribute anything meaningful to any conversation in her family home. That look alone was worth 3 years of silence. I asked Dubem 3 questions. 3 specific questions about the structure of the debt, the nature of the collapse contract, and the current terms of the bank loan. By the time I finished asking the 3rd one, the room was looking at me differently, all of them. And I thought of my mother, standing at her fabric stall in Nnewi market before sunrise, and I understood exactly what she had always known. The woman who knows her own worth never needs to prove it. She simply lives, and eventually, everything becomes clear. Now, let me take you back to the beginning, because you need to understand where I came from before you can fully understand what happened in that room. And I grew up in Nnewi. If you know Nnewi, you know it is a place of traders. of people who understand commerce in their bones before they are old enough to name it. A town where business is not something you study. It is something you absorb from the air and the market and the particular way your mother negotiates with a supplier at 6 in the morning. My mother sold fabric, Ankara, asoke, lace. She had a stall in the main market that she ran every day of my childhood without exception. I was at that stall before school and after school for years. I watched how she worked, how she read a customer in 30 seconds and knew exactly what they needed before they could articulate it themselves, how she built supplier relationships that gave her better prices than the women around her, how she turned a single stall into something that eventually employed 3 other women and put 2 children through university. My mother never used the word business. She called it her work. But what she was doing and what I was watching, absorbing, filing away without knowing I was being educated was one of the most complete business educations available anywhere. I studied economics at university, got a job at a financial services firm in Lagos, left after 2 years to start my own consulting practice, helping small and medium businesses manage their finances, structure their operations, access credit. By the time I married Emeka at 29, I had 12 clients, a small office, a reputation in a specific part of the Lagos business community for being the consultant who understood markets from the ground up. Because I had grown up in one, I was not wealthy, but I was building something real. And I had done it entirely without the Okonkwo family knowing anything about it. Not because I was hiding it, because in 3 years of family gatherings, not one person in that family had ever sat down with me and asked, Adaizi, what do you do? What are you building? Who are you? They had looked at where I came from and decided they already knew the answer. Let me tell you about Emeka quickly, because he is important and I do not want you to misunderstand him. We met at a friend's gathering in Lagos. He sat across from me for 2 hours before he spoke directly to me. And when he finally did, the first thing he said was not a compliment about how I looked. He said, "You have been listening to everyone at this table very carefully. What are you thinking?" Nobody had ever asked me that before. Not like that. We argued for 40 minutes about something I cannot fully remember now. By the end of the night, I knew 2 things. This man had a mind I wanted to keep talking to, and this was not going to be the last conversation. He was not from my world. His father was Chief Okonkwo, a construction business built over 30 years, a family compound in Onitsha, a social standing that the family had spent decades cultivating. His mother, Mama Okonkwo, was the real center of everything. She organized, she decided, she had very specific ideas about who her son should marry. I was not that person. The first time Emeka brought me to Onitsha, I saw it in Mama Okonkwo's eyes before she said a single word. That particular assessment that certain women perform, swift, comprehensive, final. She looked at my clothes, my shoes, my hair. She smiled, she welcomed me, she offered food, and she had already decided. Auntie Ngozi, her younger sister, was less careful. She called me the market girl to her own children. As a description, not an insult, as if it was simply a fact. Cousin Chidi asked Emeka once, within my hearing, "Why this one? There were so many better options." Emeka's jaw tightened. He opened his mouth. I put my hand on his arm. "Let it go," I said quietly. He looked at me. He wanted to fight. I shook my head. Not because I was afraid, not because I agreed with anything being said, because I had already decided something about this family and this situation. I had decided to let time do what words never could. We married in spite of everything. Chief Okonkwo, a quieter man than his wife, gave his blessing because he wanted his son to be happy more than he wanted to be right. I respected him for that. Mama Okonkwo gave her blessing publicly with a speech that was generous and warm and contained not a single word she actually meant. And then our real life began. From the inside, our marriage was good. Emeka and I had the kind of relationship that does not need an audience. We talked, we disagreed without cruelty, We built things together. We were genuinely happy. But the family was always there. Visits, phone calls, gatherings at the Onitsha compound. At family dinners, I was the one sitting slightly outside the center. Not excluded, that would have been too obvious. Just adjacent. Conversations happened around me. Opinions were asked of everyone except me. I was acknowledged as Emeka's wife rather than as Adaeze. Mama Okonkwo walked in suggestions, in comparisons, in the particular cruelty of the compliment that is not quite a compliment. At the first big family dinner, she said, in front of 12 people, with her warmest smile, "Adaeze, you must let us take you shopping before the next gathering. We want to make sure you feel comfortable in our circles." The table laughed, politely. I smiled. I said thank you. I filed it away. Another evening, she tasted something I had cooked and said, "It is not bad. You will learn our family recipes with time." I had been cooking that dish since I was 14 years old. I said nothing. And here is what I need you to understand about those 3 years. Because this is the part of the story that most people misread. I was not simply enduring. I was building. Every day that I sat quietly at those family dinners, I was also building my consulting practice, growing my client list, developing the relationships that would one day matter more than anything the Okonkwo family could have predicted. While Auntie Ngozi was telling her children I was the market girl, I was closing my 7th client. So now, you understand what you walked into when I took you back to that December evening. 30 family members, Chief Okonkwo's 70th birthday, the biggest gathering in years, and Dubem standing in the middle of the sitting room with a piece of paper and a face full of bad news. The construction company was in serious trouble. A major client had gone insolvent, pulling a major contract down with them. The bank loan was overdue. Without immediate restructuring, 30 years of Chief Okonkwo's work was at risk. I listened to the numbers. I looked at the paper when it was passed to me, and I recognized the shape of this problem. I had sat across the table from this exact problem in different forms with different companies many times in my consulting work. I looked at Emeka. He nodded. May I say something? Mama Okonkwo looked at me with the expression she always had when I spoke at family gatherings, politely surprised. Of course, Adaeze. I turned to Dubem. The collapsed contract, was it performance failure on your side or client insolvency? Dubem blinked. Client insolvency. Then the debt may be partially recoverable through the client's asset proceedings. But more immediately, the bank loan. What are the current repayment terms and who is your relationship manager? He told me. I was quiet for a moment. I know that bank, I said. I have worked with a senior director there on 3 restructuring cases in the past 2 years. If you will allow me, I can request a meeting for the new year and go in with you. The times as they currently stand are not the only option available. The room was completely silent. Not the uncomfortable silence of a family receiving bad news, a different silence entirely. The silence of 30 people simultaneously revising something they had believed for 3 years. Chief Okonkwo was looking at me with eyes I had never seen on his face before. Mama Okonkwo had no expression at all. The social performance, the warm, managed, carefully constructed face she had worn at every family gathering for 3 years was completely gone. What was underneath it was raw and real and slightly afraid. Not afraid of the business problem, afraid of what she was understanding about herself. Under the table, Emeka found my hand. He held it tightly, and I thought of my mother again, at her stall in Nnewi market, before sunrise, working with her hands, building something real while the world decided what category of person she was. She simply lived, and everything became clear. I made the call in January. The bank meeting was arranged. I went in with Dubem and Chief Okonkwo. The relationships I had built over years of patient professional work opened a door that would not have opened any other way. The restructuring terms gave the company the room it needed to stabilize. On the drive back from that meeting, Chief Okonkwo was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "Adaeze, in 3 years, all the times this family did not see you properly, did you ever think of leaving?" "Once," I said, "in the first year." "What stopped you?" "Emeka," I said, "and something my mother told me." He waited. "She told me that a woman who knows her own worth never needs to prove it. She simply lives. And eventually, everything becomes clear." Mama Okonkwo came to my house 2 weeks later. Alone. No Auntie Ngozi. No performance. Just a woman at my door with a small bag of food from Onitsha. We sat with tea. She was quiet for a long time, which was not like her. Then she said, "I decided who you were before I knew you. I let that decision sit for 3 years without questioning it. That was my failure, not yours." She looked at me directly. "I am sorry, my daughter." 2 words at the end of that sentence she had never used with me before. My daughter. I had waited 3 years to hear that. I reached across and took her hands. "I want to be your daughter-in-law properly," I said. "Not the one you tolerate, the real one." She pressed her hands around mine. "You already are," she said. "I just could not see it." I want to step out of the story now and speak to you directly. Because there is someone watching this right now who is sitting exactly where I sat for 3 years. Maybe it is a family, maybe it is a workplace, maybe it is an entire community that has looked at you, at your parents, your background, your accent, where you came from, and made a decision about your worth before you opened your mouth. And you have been sitting in that assessment quietly. Some people will tell you to fight it immediately, to demand recognition loudly and without apology. I understand that impulse. But I want to offer you something different. The most powerful thing I did in 3 years with your Okonkwo family was not a speech, not a confrontation, not a single moment where I proved myself with words. It was the daily decision to keep building, quietly, consistently, without performing it for anyone's benefit, while the people around me were busy deciding I had nothing to offer. Because here is the truth about people who underestimate you. They are not doing you a damage, they are making a mistake. And mistakes always reveal themselves without any help from you. You do not need to correct every wrong perception. You need to outlast it. Keep building your skills, your character, your relationships, your quiet knowledge of who you actually are, until the day reality corrects the perception for you. And that day will come. I want to speak specifically to the Nigerian and African woman watching this in London, Houston, Lagos, Toronto, Johannesburg, anywhere in the world. You have been told, directly or indirectly, that where you came from determines what you deserve. You have sat in rooms where your background was used as a measure of your value. You have been the market girl, the village daughter, the one without the right connections or the right family name. And you have had to make a choice between shrinking to fit what they see when they look at you, or continuing to grow into what you know yourself to be. This story is my vote for growth. Not the loud kind that needs an audience. The quiet, daily, unglamorous kind that happens whether anyone is watching or not. The kind my mother demonstrated at a fabric stall in Nnewi for 20 years. She did not announce it, she simply built. And eventually, everything became clear. One last thing before you go. Mama Okonkwo called me last week. Auntie Ngozi, the one who called me the market girl for 3 years, wants my number. Her daughter is trying to start a business and she does not know where to begin. I laughed for a long time after I hung up. Not unkindly, just at the way life arranges its own endings better than any of us could plan them. I called Auntie Ngozi back the same afternoon. I gave her a full hour of my time. I answered every question, without once referencing what she had said about me, because that is not who I am, and I know who I am.
Now, I want to hear from you. 3 questions. Answer whichever one speaks to you most. Have you ever been underestimated by a family, yours or someone else's? Have you ever had to choose between defending yourself immediately and trusting that time would do it for you? And for the women watching, have you ever sat in a room full of people who had already decided who you were and had to find the strength to keep building anyway? Comment below. I am reading every single one personally. If this story is for someone you know, someone who needs to hear today that their quiet endurance is not weakness, share it with them right now, before you do anything else. Subscribe if you are new here. A new story drops every week. And until next time, keep building, quietly, consistently, without needing anyone's permission to know your own worth. See you in the comments.